Imagine living in a country where torrential rains don't wash away your roads, where driving during the dry season doesn't mean choking on dust clouds or swerving to avoid massive potholes. Imagine a place where building durable roads doesn't drain the national treasury, where communities don't just wait for development, they help build it. It sounds like a dream. But in Burkina Faso, under the bold leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, this is quickly becoming reality. For decades, Burkina Faso's infrastructure has struggled to keep pace with its people's needs. Roads have been some of the biggest pain points, unpaved, easily damaged by weather, and too expensive to rebuild using conventional materials like asphalt and concrete. As a landlocked nation, Burkina Faso depends on roads for everything, from transporting goods to reaching hospitals, schools, and markets. When roads fail, so does the economy. That's why what's happening now is more than just a construction project. It's a revolution. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's administration has partnered with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to implement a groundbreaking road-building method known as the DONO Technique. Originally developed in Japan, this method turns the traditional idea of road construction on its head by relying on local materials, community participation, and environmentally friendly practices. Instead of importing costly raw materials, Burkina Faso is now building stronger roads using what it already has: earth, sand, gravel, clay, and even recycled materials. And the best part? It costs up to 60% less than the traditional method. Let's take a moment to thank all our loyal members and subscribers who continue to support Africa Now. Your encouragement and engagement make it possible for us to keep telling the stories that matter, especially the ones reshaping our continent's future. If you enjoy our content, consider becoming a member or supporting us through Super Thanks. It truly helps us grow. Now back to the story. The DONO technique is a marvel of simplicity and effectiveness. The name itself comes from the Japanese word for earth bag, which hints at the core of the method: packed earth encased in durable sacks, layered with geotextile fabrics, and tightly compressed to create long-lasting roadbeds. It's a technique rooted in sustainability. No fancy machinery, no need for foreign contractors, just smart engineering, basic tools, and trained local hands. In February 2025, the government launched its first major training and demonstration session in Ouagadougou and Bobo-Dioulasso, two cities that serve as economic lifelines in the country. The event, hosted at the National School of Public Works, brought together engineers, construction workers, students, and local officials to see the DONO technique in action. It wasn't just a theoretical seminar. Japanese and Burkinabe experts worked side by side, showing exactly how to build these roads from the ground up, literally. What made the event even more powerful was the message behind it. This is our road to build. This is our future to shape. The benefits are extraordinary. First, it slashes costs. Building a kilometer of road using traditional asphalt can cost as much as $500,000. With the DONO technique, that number drops dramatically, by 50% or even 60% in some cases. For a country like Burkina Faso, where every franc matters, that's transformative. It means more roads, in more places, built faster. Second, it's environmentally friendly. Conventional road construction requires massive quarrying, deforestation, and heavy fuel consumption. The DONO technique, by contrast, uses materials that are already present in the surrounding landscape: laterite, sand, gravel, clay. It even reuses construction waste and minimizes carbon emissions. At a time when climate change is hitting Africa hard, this matters. Third, it creates jobs. Because the technique is simple and doesn't require expensive machines or foreign expertise, it opens up thousands of employment opportunities for local communities. People are not just watching development happen. They are participating in it, learning valuable skills in the process. Fourth, the roads are stronger and more durable. They resist erosion better. They don't crack under the extreme heat of the dry season or crumble under the downpours of the rainy season. And because they're easier to maintain, they offer long-term value that traditional roads just can't match. This isn't just about road quality, it's about what those roads unlock. With better roads, farmers in remote areas can get their crops to market more quickly, reducing spoilage and increasing their earnings. Children in rural communities can get to school safely, without long, dangerous walks across crumbling paths. Pregnant women and the sick can reach clinics and hospitals faster, which in many cases could be the difference between life and death. The DONO technique is already being hailed as a game changer, not just for Burkina Faso, but potentially for all of Africa. The government has announced its commitment to expand the method across the country, but like any large-scale innovation, challenges remain. First is the issue of funding. While the method is cheaper than asphalt, scaling it up across a nation still requires significant investment. The government is actively seeking international partners to help finance expansion. Second is adaptation. Burkina Faso's terrain varies, from flat plains to hilly highlands to semi-arid deserts. Each region presents unique challenges. The DONO technique will need to be fine-tuned to handle these differences effectively. Third is skill development. The success of this method depends on a well-trained workforce. That's why training programs are being prioritized, to ensure that every engineer, builder, and community volunteer understands the process deeply. Fourth is public awareness. People tend to resist what they don't understand. That's why the government has launched a national education campaign to help citizens appreciate the long-term benefits of this approach. By making communities feel like stakeholders rather than spectators, the initiative is building grassroots support. But what's perhaps most inspiring is the leadership at the top. Captain Ibrahim Traoré isn't just pushing policy. He's redefining what African governance can look like: visionary, practical, and centered on empowering ordinary people. His government isn't waiting for foreign NGOs to solve national problems. They're working with trusted partners, using local wisdom, and taking real action. That's leadership in its purest form. And this story is far from over. In fact, it may just be the beginning. As Burkina Faso proves that better infrastructure can be achieved through innovation, affordability, and sustainability, other African nations are beginning to take notice. Delegations from neighboring countries have already expressed interest in learning more about the DONO technique. Some have even hinted at future collaborations. Could we be witnessing the birth of a new Pan-African infrastructure movement? One where roads are built with the people, by the people, and for the people? It's too early to say for sure. But one thing is certain: the world is watching. And the continent is waking up to the idea that the future doesn't have to be imported. It can be built right here, using our own hands, our own earth, and our own minds. The DONO technique, in many ways, represents more than a solution to a technical problem. It symbolizes the power of appropriate technology. Technology that fits the place, the people, and the purpose. It reminds us that innovation doesn't always mean digital apps or billion-dollar machines. Sometimes innovation looks like a bag of dirt, packed and layered just right. It's a revolution hiding in plain sight. As we move forward, we should be asking some big questions. Why should Africa continue depending on foreign solutions when we can develop and adapt our own? What other areas, beyond roads, can benefit from this kind of local-first, cost-effective, and sustainable thinking? And perhaps the biggest question of all: what's stopping the rest of the world from following Africa's lead? Burkina Faso is proving something vital. When you empower people, when you embrace smart partnerships, and when you trust in the strength of your own soil, literally, then anything is possible. Let us know what you think in the comments. Could the DONO technique be the future of African infrastructure? Do you think this model could work in your country or region? And if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Africa Now. We'll continue bringing you powerful stories of innovation, leadership, and change from across the continent. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay bold, and keep building.